Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel JB's lecture. I am Jui Bhattacharya and today is my second video in this channel, and today's video is on the rest of the three paragraphs of the poem The Gift of India, of the prestigious poem, you can say, precious poem, you can say, The Gift of India. So in the very first video I have already described the first stanza of this poem. Now from the second stanza, gathered like pearls in their alien graves, from this part I will start explaining. Okay. So, the gift of India. This poem, I told all of you that this poem is nothing but a wonderful tribute to the very contribution of Indian soldiers. Okay, in different types of words, you can say participation in different types of words rather than fighting for their own country. Now, এবারে ব্যাপারটা হচ্ছে যে কেউ কেউ হয়তো এটাকে বেইমানি বলতে পারো বা পারেন, কিন্তু ব্যাপার যেটা যে আসলেই কিন্তু এই বেইমানির জায়গাটা থেকে বা দৃষ্টিকোণ থেকে বা পয়েন্ট অফ ভিউ থেকে না দেখে যদি অন্য একটা পার্সপেক্টিভ থেকে দেখা যায়, তাহলে দেখা যাবে যে প্রচণ্ড একটা ফিয়ার, আউট অফ দ্য ভেরি ফিয়ার অফ দেয়ার ওন লাইভস, আউট অফ দ্য ভেরি ফিয়ার অফ দেয়ার রিলেটিভস লাইভস, mothers' lives, you can say sisters' lives, wives' lives, children's lives, probably this type of activity happened, okay, or had been happened. তো এই ব্যাপারটা থেকেও কিন্তু বোঝা যায় যে সেই টাইমে ডিউরিং 1917, the period when the gift of India was written, during that particular period, India was brutally colonized by the British Raj, and India and Indians were actually obliged to do whatever they ordered. Okay, Mother India was actually crying that time. Definitely, the cry was not a silent cry. Fighting against the British Raj continuously, still they were captivated, like you can say colonized like hell. In that, or during that particular time, a few Indian soldiers worked or fought the battles for the western countries or for the eastern countries, that I already described in the first paragraph. Now let us read the second paragraph. Gathered like pearls in their alien graves, silent they sleep by the Persian waves. Scattered like shells on Egyptian sands, they lie with pale brows and brave, broken hands. They are strewn like blossoms mown down by chance on the blood brown meadows of Flanders and France. Now, you can say in the very second paragraph, there is a note or there is a theme of devastation, of death, of distraction, that actually created a picture of great sorrow, and the Mother India was crying out of pain. Gathered like pearls in their alien graves. Now, here you can see the dead soldiers or the dead bodies of the soldiers over here are compared with the pearls. Whenever you see pearls within the shells. You can see that they are many in number, isn't that? Just like that, the dead bodies of the Indian soldiers were actually, gathered like pearls in the alien graves. In the alien graves means not in our motherland, not in India, but in the very land, in the very foreign lands of the eastern as well as the western countries. That is why these are the alien graves. They were buried under the ground of different countries, you can say eastern and western countries rather than India. Understood? Silent they sleep by the Persian waves. So here you can see the poet is talking about Persia. It's a different country. So they were sleeping silently by the Persian waves, scattered like shells on Egyptian sands. You can see the shells. Whenever you go to the seashores, you can see that there many shells used to be scattered here and there. Isn't that? The shells used to be scattered carelessly. inattentively, just like that, the dead bodies, the unfortunate dead bodies of Indian soldiers were scattered here and there on the Egyptian sands, on the very seashore. They lie with pale brows and brave, broken hands. They died many hours ago, probably, and that is why their bodily features started to get rotten. Their bodily features started to get stiff. That is why it is said that they lie with pale brows and brave, brave, broken hands. Actually, there was no hint of life in their bodies. But though they were scattered, their bodies were scattered, their bodies actually were representing the very courageousness. Through the very broken hands of the dead Indian soldiers, the very courageousness, their courageousness was being represented. Okay, they are strewn like blossoms mown down by chance. So here, why the poet is using this phrase by chance? That means the poet doesn't want to see the Indian soldiers dead. The poet doesn't want to consider the Indian soldiers to be dead. Definitely, they did not deserve such brutal death. They definitely did not deserve such unfortunate death. And their burials were also outside of their motherland. They did not get the very comfort of the final rest in their own motherland. Okay, on the blood brown meadows of Flanders and France. Now, here you see Flanders, France, Persian waves, Egyptian sands. These are actually representing the very countries rather than India. Okay, blood brown meadows. That is what? That is actually the war field. This particular phrase is actually representing the very war field, or the very war front, or the very battlefield. Understood? Where the soldiers fought the fight so bravely for those countries, for no for those colonizers who were torturing their own country. Actually, if you think the very pain of the soldiers very deeply, you can feel that they were actually compromising to some extent. Rather, they were sacrificing their own feeling. It is not that they didn't feel bad for whatever they did, or they were not guilty for whatever they did, but due to all such abstractions also, they had to move on, they had to do that. So that blood brown meadows actually represent, this particular phrase actually represents the very battlefield, or the very warfield drenched with the drops of blood. Now just move to the next paragraph, third paragraph. Can ye measure the grief of the tears I weep, or compass the ooh of the watch I keep, or the pride that thrills through my heart's despair, and the hope that comforts the anguish of prayer, and the far sad glorious vision I see of the torn red banners of victory? So, can you measure the grief of the tears I weep? Here, who is I? I is the speaker. You can say I is representing the very motherland, India. So, here, the motherland, our India, the speaker, actually just is throwing the very question to the nations throughout the entire universe, throughout the entire world, that can you measure the very grief, the very pain, the very melancholic sense that I am feeling, my the very tears that I weep each and every time for my sons, or compass the woo that of the watch I keep? So can you watch? Can you feel? Can you fathom the very pain that each and every moment I am feeling? My heart is actually getting torn into pieces for my sons, for the dead bodies of my sons, for the very insult that they were, rather you can say, that they were receiving each and every time. Even their dead bodies were not buried in a proper way. Hmm? Okay, or the pride that thrills through my heart's despair. Now here you can see in contrast, the speaker is also saying that it's not merely the very sadness or the very sorrow or the very sense of melancholy that she is feeling, right? At the same time, she is also feeling proud of those sons who fought the battle so bravely, so courageously in the lands of the aliens, you can say, or in the alien lands or in the foreign lands, and the hope that comforts the anguish, the pain of prayer. So there, there is always a hope. The hope is a thing that actually makes mothers alive, that actually makes your relatives alive. Hope is something, hope, this particular word is something which is so powerful. Okay, hope is actually related to the term prayer. Understood? So a small hope can comfort the hearts of a mother, okay, of thousands of mothers. This particular paragraph is actually, you can say, giving a voice to those mothers, to those silent mothers, or to those mothers who were actually crying silently, whose sons were not in their own laps in the country in India, but they were actually fighting the battles outside. Okay, and the far sad, glorious vision I see of the torn red banners of victory. Now, here you see there is the term victory, and there is another term that is sadness. Victory and sadness, these two terms are completely different from each other, but how magnificently you can say, how properly you can say, how appropriately you can say, the poet is actually relating both the terms to each other. Okay, how professionally, how perfectly. Here she is saying that the speaker, she is weeping, she is crying, but at the same time she is feeling proud of her sons. Okay, now here the Indian soldiers fought the battles, the horrific, terrific battles for the foreign countries, and also brought victory to them. The very red banner, okay, that is nothing but signifying, that was signifying the very victory, a sense of victory, or the victorious we can say perception. Understood? but still but still, to the motherland India, okay, or you can say the speaker over here is actually feeling meaninglessness. Okay, she is actually not at all, feeling that much great, or to her it is completely meaningless to retrieve victory in such particular way. হুম তো এইখানে এই যে পার্টিকুলার প্যারাগ্রাফটা রয়েছে, এই প্যারাগ্রাফটা একটা ভয়েস দিচ্ছে সেই সমস্ত মায়েদের, যে মায়েরা সাইলেন্টলি কেঁদেছে তাদের সন্তানদের জন্যে, যে সন্তানেরা দেশের বাইরে অন্য কান্ট্রিজের জন্যে, ইস্টার্ন ওয়েস্টার্ন কান্ট্রিজের জন্যে কন্টিনিউয়াসলি লড়াই করে গেছে। হুম এই পার্টিকুলার প্যারাগ্রাফটা ভীষণই হার্ট টাচিং, স্পাইন চিলিং, বিকজ এখানে স্পিকার যে রয়েছে সে একেবারে ডাইরেক্টলি কোয়েশ্চেন ছুঁড়ে দিয়েছে তাদের দিকে, যারা হচ্ছে ইউনো ওয়ারিং নেশনস, কন্টিনিউয়াসলি যারা যুদ্ধ করে যাচ্ছে সেই সমস্ত নেশনসের দিকে এই প্রশ্নটা ছুঁড়ে দিয়েছে যে তোমরা কি কেউ এটা মেজার করতে পারো যে কতটা কষ্ট আমার হচ্ছে? এক্সকিউজ মি। তোমরা কি এটা দেখতে পারো যে কতটা পরিমাণ আমি কাঁদছি? আর অ্যাট দ্য সেম টাইম অর সাইমালটেনিয়াসলি আমি কিন্তু ভীষণ গর্ব অনুভব করছি, এক্সকিউজ মি, অ্যাট দ্য সেম টাইম আমি কিন্তু ভীষণ গর্ব অনুভব করছি যে আমার সন্তানেরা বাইরে গিয়ে এভাবে যুদ্ধ করে তাদেরকে বিজয় এনে দিয়েছে। একটা ছোট্ট কথা, হোপ, আশা, এই আশা শব্দটা যে কত লক্ষ লক্ষ মায়ের মনের এই যে প্রেয়ারকে বাঁচিয়ে রাখে, প্রার্থনাকে বাঁচিয়ে রাখে, তার কোনো ঠিক ঠিকানা নেই। কত মায়ের মনের যে অ্যাঙ্গুইশ, যে পেন, সেটাকে একটুখানি হলেও দমন করে তার এই প্রেয়ারটা, প্রার্থনাটাকে বাঁচিয়ে রাখে, তাকে একটু কমফোর্ট দেয়, তাকে তার জন্য একটু কমফোর্ট জোন তৈরি করে, তার কিন্তু ইয়ত্তা নেই। অ্যান্ড দ্য ফার স্যাড গ্লোরিয়াস ভিশন আই সি of the torn red red banners of victory। তো এই পার্টিকুলার লাস্ট দুটো লাইনসে কবি বলছেন যে আমার কাছে এই জয়টা কিন্তু আসলে কোনো জয় নয়, যদিও রেড ব্যানারের মধ্যে দিয়ে ভিক্টরি বা ভিক্টোরিয়াসনেস যেটাকে আমরা বলছি সেটাকে রিপ্রেজেন্ট করা হচ্ছে, ম্যানিফেস্ট করা হচ্ছে, কিন্তু এই জয়ের কোনো মূল্য আমার কাছে নেই, কারণ এই জয়টা আসছে প্রচুর প্রচুর মানুষের মৃত্যুর মধ্যে দিয়ে, আমার সন্তানদের মৃত্যুর মধ্যে দিয়ে। Now let us go for the last and the final paragraph. When the terror and tumult of hate shall cease, and life be refashioned on anvils of peace, and your love shall offer memorial thanks to the comrades who fought in your dauntless rank, and you honor the deeds of the deathless ones, remember the blood of thy martyred sons. So this particular paragraph is actually an appeal, or it actually shows an appeal, a request, an earnest request to each and every person throughout the entire world that please do not forget the very contribution of Indian soldiers. You people haven't written them in history books properly, but do not forget through this particular poem also, at least try to remember the contribution of Indian soldiers, the very sacrifice, the very compromise of the Indian soldiers that they made once upon a time for the very colonizers who were torturing them each and every time. When the terror and the tumult of hate shall cease, so when there will be a particular time, a certain time will come when each and everything, every problem will be solved. The horrific version of the war will be demolished. All the turmoils will be demolished once upon a time. Everything will be stopped and life be refashioned on anvils of peace. It is very difficult. Anvils of peace means it is very difficult to bring peace once again. But definitely peace will come. At the cost of such horrific deaths, okay, of numerous horrific deaths, definitely one day peace would come and life would be refashioned. Okay, and your love shall offer memorial thanks to the comrades who fought in your dauntless rank. So you never ever should not at all forget to devote your thankfulness to those Indian soldiers who fought the dauntless battle, the very war for you. Dauntless over here means fearless. Okay, and you honor the deeds of the deathless ones, remember the blood of the martyred sons. So here you can see deathless, this particular word is actually representing those soldiers who died physically but not mentally. Okay, through their deeds, they did not die. They are still alive. They will be alive. They should be alive in your minds, in your hearts. Each and every day, you should honor them. You should revere them. You should respect them. You should remember the very blood of the martyrs. And martyred means, in Bengali, if I want to say, martyred means shohid. Okay, so martyred sons, their contribution you should remember each and every day. You should reminisce. আন্ডারস্টুড? সো এই লাস্টের প্যারাগ্রাফটা হচ্ছে একটা রিমাইন্ডার সকলের জন্যে যে কেউ যেন ভুলে না যায় ইন্ডিয়ান সোলজার্সদের এই কন্ট্রিবিউশন, স্যাক্রিফাইস, কম্প্রোমাইজ। কারণ যুদ্ধের এই যে ভয়াবহতা সেটা একদিন থেমে যাবে, ঠিক আছে? লাইফ একদিন নতুন করে সেজে উঠবে। যদিও এতগুলো মৃত্যুর পরিবর্তে শান্তি আসা একটু শক্ত, কিন্তু তবুও লাইফ একদিন, জীবন একদিন নতুন করে সেজে উঠবে। কারণ টাইম ডাজন্ট ওয়েট ফর এনিওয়ান, সময় কিন্তু কারোর জন্য থেমে থাকে না। সেই সময়তে তোমাদের প্রত্যেকের মন থেকে, হৃদয় থেকে কৃতজ্ঞতা জানাতে হবে সেই সমস্ত কমরেডসদের, ফাইটার্সদের যারা একদিন যুদ্ধ করেছিল তোমাদেরকে বাঁচানোর জন্য, একদিন ফিয়ারলেস যুদ্ধ করেছিল। আর প্রত্যেককে সেই সঙ্গে সম্মান দিতে হবে যারা আসলেই ডেথলেস। তারা হয়তো ফিজিক্যালি মারা গেছেন ব্যাটেল ফিল্ডে, তারা প্রপার অ্যাপ্রোপ্রিয়েট তারা সম্মান পাননি ইভেন তাদের মৃত্যুর সময়তেও, কিন্তু তারা কিন্তু ডেথলেস, তাদের কাজের মাধ্যমে তারা অমর হয়ে আছে এবং থাকবে। তোমাদের প্রত্যেকের সেই শহীদ ভারতীয় সন্তানদের জন্যে সন্তানদের রক্তকে, সন্তানদের রক্তের ফোঁটাকে মনে রাখা উচিত, সম্মান করা উচিত। সো হিয়ার দিস পার্টিকুলার পোয়েম এন্ডস। ওকে, I actually have tried my level best to make you understand in both the languages properly, but if even if you cannot understand any line, any word, you can comment below, you can share the video if you feel good, or wherever you are feeling problem, or wherever you are feeling like you're having some confusions, you can definitely ask me. In the next video I will discuss the probable questions that may come in your examinations. Okay, so those probable questions answers will be discussed in the next class. তাহলে এইখানেই আমি আমার ভিডিওটা আজকে শেষ করছি। থ্যাংক ইউ অল ফর ওয়াচিং, সি ইউ সুন, বাই।